Welcome to what I call a startup playthrough series of videos showing off the five giant creatures that in the world of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yes. Okay, I'm killing. Right now I'm piloting a space fighter and I create a pod. Summon a giant object in level up twice. After the second it fires out 3 weapons. Blue reflective, air to air red, and yellow air to ground. How it started, it was the year 2000 and in Antarctica scientists found a white giant which they referred to as Adam. Yes, this was actually the first angel, and shortly after it was quite deadly. Humanity was able to do experiments, but unfortunately what happened, he exploded. Yes, half the world's population went down. Flooding, nuclear war, and then the next year it ended, but the damage was done. So, the Antarctica melted in the floods, and humanity found what they call the Dead Sea Scrolls, and so they used the scrolls. Found out that through Project Eva, they were able to use Adam DNA to construct giant fighting machines known as Evangelion. Eva 00 initially was yellow, a stone. After it was destroyed in an attack, it was damaged by Ramiel's attack, it was repainted blue. It's piloted by a blue-haired girl named Rei Ayanami. Interesting. And yes, but unfortunately this was not, even if it was the first ever successful Eva unit, it was not the first. That honor would go to Eva 1, was the first one to see combat. It is a purple mecha, and it is the one that sees the most action. Unfortunately, it tends to go berserk a lot. It is plotted by a lame guy, a pussy, a woman named Shinji Ikari. And you know what? Bad enough. So horrible. He sucks. He gets hit by a wand, and he even cries manly tear. Next up, that's Unit 2. That's a red Eva unit and it's inhabited by like the other 2 Eva units. The soul inside is the soul of the mother. Wait, it's piloted as 3 pilots. The first is a brown-haired girl named Asuka Soryu, who is incredibly badass. Second time, piloted by the 18th angel, no. The 17th brother, and the third revealed in Lee. Getting worse than this. I have to just keep shooting them down, even if I have just a few kicks and it's down. And with that, we can start out with the angels proper. The first angel to appear in the show is actually the third one, Sachiel. It comes out from the water, and initially the UN tried to attack it unfortunately, even with the N2 mine, the attacks were mostly ineffective. So what? The angel marched on towards it, shrugged off every attack ever thrown at it, shrugged off. Closest they did, but fired off a set of explosives unfortunately, although the face was destroyed, Sachiel survived the attack and it gave a new face. How horrible. So how did they deal with it? Why, it was the first time they sent the Eva unit. 01. Shinji Ikari had no choice but to pilot it when he saw that Rei was injured. And so, the battle began. It was like, here, Shinji Ikari was not a veteran. In fact, it was his first time piloting, and unlike other series wherein he instantly learns fast, this time he didn't know anything. And you know what happened? He tried to move it in, but soon after, he actually tripped. And then he was subjected to the mercy of the angels, various assaults such as being grabbed in, and even the angel fired off eye blasts. Fortunately for Shinji-kun, he was able, just as he was getting knocked out in, the Eva unit went berserk. You know why? The unit contained the soul of Yui Ikari, who was Shinji's mother. It was like the motherly instinct kicked in, and the Eva unit started pummeling the angel over and over and over. Well, after the fight, Shinji was claimed to be a hero, but when he went to school, but he didn't understand how. And by the way, the hex octagonal thing is the 80 field. The 80 field, yes, angels and the Eva units both have the ability to produce that. Might be deadly at first to a human in. So, you know what? After Shinji was recovered in, he just went berserk over and over. The Eva unit marched in relentlessly. At first was and unfortunately, by that time this happened, Shinji was blacked out. And I bet it would be quite scary the first time you go in. It's like you didn't get, like in other series, the anime had no, he was training. You know what? Since he was untrained, he was a whip. He was forced to do it, but he pulled it through. Don't let the images fool you. He actually was not that badass at all at the beginning. He just lucked out. Throwing and grabbing might not seem, but that's the only practical thing one has to do it. So, punch the core. Speaking of core, what happened is, when everyone had gotten the upper hand in, Sachiel, as a last-ditch resort, tried to grab the Eva unit and blow itself up. Unfortunately, that didn't work, and it resulted in a big, whopping explosion. As you can see after these final blows. And it's blowing, and unfortunately because of this, Nerf was unable to retrieve the corpse. Next angel, the fourth one, is Shamshel. It is an insectoid one. It hovers above the ground to move in, and its main arsenal is composed of 2 tentacle-like arms that allows it to whip enemies and grab them, just like Mato's Master's tentacle hentai. Unfortunately, Shamshel is supposed to be bigger than a human, but unfortunately here, it looks like he's around 7 or 8 feet tall. Like with Sachiel, it's no stealth. The UN and the Japan Self-Defense Forces weapon, including the N2 bomb, was supposed to be the strongest weapon in. So how did they go? Again, they sent the Unit 01 again, since he was still not confident enough to pilot it, was still raw in experience. So what happened? When firing a gun, the gun had no effect on the angel. Then countered by disarming the Eva, and then the next thing he knew, the angel grabbed the Eva by the legs. The umbilical cable is cut, and thus he only has 5 minutes to win. So the Eva unit is thrown in the hill. The angel rises up, but this time since he recovers, he's able to grab the arm and then throws Shamshel up in the fit, and then also the Unit 01 that grabs a knife and then turns red hot and then charges down the hill. And it's like with this boost of strength, since his confidence rises and he's able to remove the 80 field, and now he's becoming a badass again, kicking. Now everyone goes into a rage again. He kicks the Shamshel, who then rises up and then repeats it all over the sequence continuously, marching in steadily on phase, then starts slashing the angel and then kicking it in. The angel gets up, but Unit 01's rampage continues. And notably, I'm surprised here that Shamshel's 2 whip-like arms didn't damage the armor of the Eva unit. Must be surprised. Because if that was the case, it could have gotten worse. Now, Sentry's going in for the kill. Raising the AT field up. And then a small kicking over and over. A small note here. Two of his classmates, Toji and Kensuke, were also riding in the entry plug at the time the battle started. So because of this, he was hesitant to attack because he was afraid that his two classmates would be collateral damage. And note in the anime, he only started attacking at the last moment, and the fight didn't actually go as quickly as this because he actually defeated the Angel only seconds before his internal battery ran out. And boom, another explosion. Just kidding, the anime didn't happen. The fifth Angel is Ramiel. Yes, that's called Ramiel. That's an octahedron in, and it's quite tough. You know what its only offense is? What it does. There's only this strange mechanic, but it also it has a drill. You used to go underground and pierce the walls of terminal dogma, but it also has something even nastier, a laser, and yes, it's O-point. Just the spam that laser in does heavy damage to everything. It can even melt on every unit's armor, and it can turn less than charcoal. You see, so thickly armored that normal attacks are ineffective. So, how do they defeat this thing? Instead, when hand-to-hand attacks were ineffective, and even the regular laser attacks down. So thankfully, for me, I was able to hover close to the ground with the laser. So I was able to hover close to the ground so that the laser would miss. Thus would not be communicated to Eva unit. A lot taller than an R9 fighter. So how can I deal with it? It's incredibly strong feat. By the way, in Rebirth it changed. In Rebuild it changed its shape. Here, not. So tough. I wish Shinji had taken diazepam. It would not only control his emotions, but also his control. And he fires. In the anime, he actually missed once, and so Rei had to use the Eva 00 to shield Shinji from the blows.